There is nothing wrong with your screen. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the remainder of this video, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your screen. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the breakdown and review of The Outer Limits. Please subscribe. What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today we're talking about Season 1, Episode 4, The Man with the Power. Original air date, October 7th, 1963. So now we're going to open with a shot of a guy in bed being disintegrated by this energy cloud. Now this is actually a shot that happens later on in the episode. As we'll see from this point forward, these episodes are going to be actually opening with a foreshadowing or literally a clip from later on in the episode, kind of gets you sucked into the action right off the bat. So this energy cloud effect was actually achieved by filming a small electrical spark. They then enlarged that image and superimposed it over this ink cloud. Really, really cool effect. I'm actually thinking about stealing it for some Geeking Poetic teasers down the line. Now we cut to a shot of Donald Pleasance, who's actually the star of this episode, and we see him driving down a road, but he's trying to get through, but there's this tree trimming truck that's blocked his way with these guys up in a bucket and they're trimming trees. He starts blaring on the horn. These guys are getting pissed off. They try to start shit with him, but he backs down. He reverses and he has to go 12 miles out of his way so he doesn't confront these guys. But as he's driving away, we kind of get a zoom up of his forehead and we see this little stitch scar, so we know something happened to him, right? But as he's driving away, another energy cloud appears right by these tree trimmers. So this energy cloud disintegrates these guys and their truck. Now that's kind of weird, right? I mean, we saw this guy with his stitched up forehead. This happened. The thing happened earlier in the episode, so maybe these are connected. Now we're introduced to this guy's wife, who seems like a real fucking winner. She's a fucking bitch. She's belittling this guy, making him feel like complete shit, like he's worthless, he can't do anything. And we cut to a scene where he actually goes to work at this laboratory, and we find out that these guys are trying to work on mining asteroids for minerals to replenish our resources here on Earth. So Harold Finley, which is Donald Pleasance's character, has been working on a way to use gravity to kind of manipulate these asteroids for NASA or the space agency. And we think that, okay, maybe he's working on some kind of machine to do this, but no, he's actually using his mind to manipulate these objects, hence the scar. So he's trying to, demonstrate his abilities, so he levitates this meteorite, and you can see the fishing wire used to move this around, but still it's kind of cool. So he lets the meteorite fall, and it breaks the floorboards, and then we find out that he's been developing this process because he says that everything has these electromagnetic waves that surround objects, right? And he's devised a way to manipulate those waves with his mind using this piece of technology called the link gate, which has been surgically implanted into his forehead, into his frontal lobe. Now using this, he's able to focus this beam on an object and kind of think of pushing the waves around it to manipulate it and move it to wherever he wants it to. So after his demonstration, these guys want him to work with them full time. So he goes home to tell his wife because he's excited. Hey, look, I got this big opportunity. I'm making a shit ton more money. And she could give a shit less, man. She actually thinks that he's a fucking loser and that he can't amount to anything. So he goes to the school to pretty much quit. But his boss tells him, you can't quit. You signed this contract. This is where you belong. You're not going to do anything else. You're staying here. So another person in his life that wants to hold him down and keep him from doing what he wants to do. Now, Harold walks out, and as he walks out, another energy cloud appears in the office, in the dean's office, and it crashes the ceiling, and the ceiling comes crashing down with his assistant in the room. So now we cut to a scene where Harold's at the lab and he's hooked up and he's trying to bend this piece of metal and reshape it. And he's, concentrating, moving this thing. You can see this thing warp and bend. And after that, he says, the more I do this, the stronger I become. And they can tell from the readings that he is actually getting stronger. So Harold finds this astronaut that is a candidate to get this procedure done because he's going to go up into space and mine these asteroids. And Harold tells him, look, man, if this is what you want to do, make sure you go for it. Don't wait till you're my age to do what you want to do and find your path in life. Don't let anybody bring you down from what you want to do. And we can totally blame his fucking bitch-ass wife Vera for this because she's totally destroyed this guy's spirit. So Harold wants to invite the astronaut over for dinner. So they go to his house, but Vera's outside washing the windows. Harold's all excited to show her, hey, look, I got the job, and this is an astronaut I'm working with. I'm actually capable of doing stuff. And Vera's totally pissed, because I guess Harold had told her he's going to show up earlier to help her wash the windows. So she cooked food, ate it herself, and just left it in the table, or in the oven for him to heat up. So the astronaut's like uncomfortable. He's like, listen, man, I am actually going to go. I can tell that, you guys are in a fight or whatever. So he storms off. He doesn't really storm off, but he walks off. Harold feels bad. He goes up to him. He starts apologizing to him. Now, as this is happening, they do this really cool effect where Harold's talking. He's still talking, but his voice is getting softer and softer, and this ominous music starts rising, all while Harold's still talking. And we cut over, and Vera's kind of washing the windows. Another energy cloud appears, and it actually knocks her ass off the ladder, and she falls off. She's in hysterics, claiming that this electricity touched her, and she's freaking out. And shortly after this, we see that the dean calls Harold's house at like 11:30 at night or whatever, asking him, did Vera tell you that I called? And Harold's like, yeah, she told me, I have to quit. I can't work there anymore. And he agrees to meet him in the morning to kind of talk about it. But as they hang up, we see that the energy cloud appears in this guy's bedroom and kills him, which was the scene that started the episode off. Now, Harold knows at this point that he's probably manifesting these energy clouds, so he wants to find out what's going on. So he goes to the lab, he's talking to the scientist guys to find out, these cosmic rays or whatever they're manipulating, is it possible that a human's emotional state can alter the effects of this? The guy's like, yeah, your emotional states could possibly alter the way that you react with these waves and control the waves. So we cut back to Harold's at his house now, and he's trying to explain to Vera that he's responsible for this destruction and he almost killed her. So she's like, you're a fucking idiot. So she calls like the hospital to have like the loony wagon come and pick him up. And Harold's trying to tell her, look, I'm not crazy. I can do this stuff. But she just keeps belittling him, saying, you will never amount to anything. There's no way you can possibly do this. So he's getting pissed off. Another energy cloud appears. She sees it. It starts attacking her. And then she realizes, oh shit, this guy can do this stuff. I better ask for forgiveness and plead for my life, which she basically does. We find out that she basically denied having a child with this guy because she thought that he'd make a lousy husband or a lousy father because he's a fucking loser, and she didn't want her kid to have him as a father. So real fucking winner. So the next day, Harold is at the lab and he finds the astronaut Steve, and he goes, hey, listen, man, don't go through with this procedure. Bad stuff's gonna happen. But the astronaut's like, no, dude, I gotta do this, man. So he tries to convince the project leaders to abandon the idea, tells them, don't go through with it, bad shit's gonna happen, right? Now, they're scared that Harold's gonna try to fuck this up, right? So they end up sedating him and making him unconscious and putting him in a different room, thinking that, well, if he has this power, then if he's unconscious, then nothing's gonna go wrong. He can't possibly disrupt this. But of course, we find out that Harold can indeed manifest these energy clouds when he's unconscious. So we see the energy cloud appear over the surgeon table because Steve the astronaut's getting this procedure done. So the cloud appears, it disintegrates the surgeon who's holding the link gate piece of technology that they're going to implant. It attacks some other people, disintegrates one of the project leaders. Harold kind of wakes up, he walks into the room, he sees a destruction happening and knows that, he doesn't want this power anymore. It's going to hurt everybody, so he decides, what I'm going to do? I'm going to kill myself. So he has the cloud disintegrate him. And that's it for Harold. So that was the man with the power. Now, I really, really like the idea of this episode, using your mind or other gravity things to kind of mine asteroids and make it easier to move them. I just wish that a majority of this episode took place in space and on a spacecraft. Now, as you come to find out, if you watch these enough, I'm really into space, so I wish all these episodes took place there, but it is what it is. I just thought it'd be a much better episode if they were on a spacecraft and all this stuff was happening. People could be sucked out in the airlocks, energy clouds could appear on the spacecraft. It would have been much cooler, in my opinion. Now, this episode was very much inspired by the 1950s movie The Forbidden Planet, which Forbidden Planet is probably the best 50s science fiction movie, in my humble opinion, of course. But it's a great, great movie, guys. It has to deal with a guy getting the power to use his mind to manipulate objects. But the kicker is, your subconscious ego can also do this. And that's where we hold our rage and our primitive animalistic, instincts that we don't carry with us and think about on a daily basis. But that stuff is still there, and it can use those powers too. So that's the dangers of this kind of story. Now, this episode is not one that I'll frequently want to revisit, but I really do like the special effects and the plot idea of, mining these asteroids using, gravity manipulation that could be with your mind. I just wish that it was set in space and not on Earth. Thanks for watching, guys. What did you think about this episode? Let me know in the comments below. If you did like it, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. So next time, we'll be looking at Season 1, Episode 5, The Sixth Finger. Thanks again, guys. Catch you later. We now return control of your screen to you until the next episode, when Geeking Poetic will bring you more of The Outer Limits. Please subscribe.